Talk to me. Another news turn starting now with all updates about our Washington Commanders. Here is quick, direct, and unlimited information. If you are new, you already subscribe and guarantee that you will not lose anything from the team. And don't forget to leave like, so I can keep posting here on the channel. Next, to start with updates, Washington bomb. Commanders has just brought back a known name from the fans. If you thought the worst had happened, get ready. The injuries don't stop and now another player may be out of season. Dan Quinn's cast is falling apart. And the question is, how far does this team take before it implodes for good? Week 4, against the Falcons. The result was already bad, but the game was even worse. A team without execution. A cast without strength. And an increasingly fragile defense. And as if the defeat wasn't enough, another bomb came. Javontae Jean-Baptiste may be out of season. Jean-Baptiste left the field at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and was discarded on time. The first reports point to a break in the breastplate. If confirmed, goodbye season. And detail, this boy from the 7th round of 2024 was growing, gaining space, showing flashes of promise. Another talent cut by the curse of Washington injuries. Preston Smith, veteran, needs to speed up his return to shape. Adam Peters needs to act now and look for alternatives. Dan Quinn needs to take rabbits out of the top hat so as not to see the team sink for good. Commanders are not just losing players. They are losing rhythm. They are losing confidence. They are losing their identity. This is not just a team dealing with injuries anymore. It's like a bullshit trying to cross a storm. You cover a hole, and 3 new ones open. And each week, the Super Bowl that seemed possible. It gets farther away, almost a mirage. Was Jean-Baptiste just part of the rotation? Yes. But each piece matters when the cast is already on the edge. Ekeler out. Wise Jr. out. Jonathan Jones out. And now, probably, Jean-Baptiste out. This is a cast that no longer has space for errors. Can you trust that Preston Smith will hold the scolding? Comment down here, because the opinion of the crowd matters and can catch fire. Changing a little about the subject, Washington Commanders entered the field against Falcons and the disaster started early. An unrecognizable defense, an erased attack, and the question that doesn't want to silence. Who will still save this team? A secondary that looks like glass. A land game that became a free track for Bijan Robinson. Falcons, who were no more than 30 yards last week, today seemed the 49ers at the height. Washington entered sleeping. And paid the price. The same Luvu who last year became an icon, with 8 sacks and All-Pro status. Same as you put fear in any attack. He finally woke up in 2025. It went up, exploded on the backfield and showed the claw that the rest of the defense was missing. Only here comes the question. What good is a roaring lion if the rest of the cage is empty? Washington even had a flash with Luvu knocking Michael Penix Jr. But in the next move, 43 yards pump for Drake London. Bijan Robinson's ridiculous touchdown. That is, the flame of Luvu went out in the sea of flaws of the cast. It's like throwing water in the desert. A sip does not quench the thirst. If this team wants to react, you can no longer depend only on a player's energy. The defense needs to become infect. Veterans need to take the scolding. Dan Quinn needs to move the board now. If not, the season will escape the fingers even before half. Can Luvu still carry this defense on the back? Or the rest of the cast has already started for good? Comment down here, because this debate will catch fire. Updated news, to conclude the information. Fans, take a deep breath, because the Washington Commanders delivered one of their worst performances of the season. A humiliating defeat. A lost defense. A lackluster offense. But amidst this absolute chaos, an unlikely light shone. The Falcons, coming off a loss to the Panthers, did whatever they wanted against Washington. Defense. A total collapse. Mariota tried to fight back, but he seemed to be rowing against the tide in a leaky boat. And then I ask you, is this the team that dreams of repeating its 2024 campaign? As it stands, it seems more like a nightmare than a dream. But then, in the midst of the storm, a name no one expected emerges. Matt Gay. The most contested kicker on the roster. The guy who'd been receiving criticism since his Colts days. The same guy who received the highest guaranteed money in history for a one-year contract, and seemed to sink under the pressure.
Yeah.
Against the Falcons, Gay was the only bright spot. 4 kicks, 4 hits. And one of them, a monstrous 52-yarder. While the defense looked like paper and the offense was failing, Gay was the only one who showed composure. It's like watching a firefighter save a house, while the rest of the block is on fire. Now the question remains. Has Matt Gay finally turned the page? Or was he just a spark in the midst of disaster? Washington has no time to waste. The season is slipping through its fingers. Dan Quinn needs to pick up the pieces and react quickly. Because if the team's hope depends on just one kicker, you get the idea, right? The future is at stake. And the clock is ticking. Has Matt Gay silenced the critics for good? Or has this shameful defense dimmed any spark he once brought? Comment below. Next, Commanders, thanks for watching. Did you like the video? Like it and subscribe to the channel. It's very important for us to be together. Thanks for everything, and let's go, Commanders!